But at a certain level of broke, you don't look a gift horse burrito in the mouth. That's the reality. I'm a little nervous about being married. Because now, if I'm broke, it matters. Right? Like, if you're broke as a single guy, it's almost charming, you know? But now, if I bring home a bag of combos for dinner, she made a bad decision. That's what happened. And I've been broke, you guys. I've been there. Recently, I was so broke, a stranger offered me a free burrito at a train station, and I said yes! I didn't even ask what was in it. I'm allergic to some things. Like, granted, most burritos don't contain the antibiotic clindamycin, but I should have asked still. I should have asked. Could have been anything in there. I don't know. Could have been horse meat. I don't know. But at a certain level of broke, you don't look a gift horse burrito in the mouth. That's the reality. I was so broke recently. You know you're broke when you make a purchase in dimes. You know? Have you ever tried to pay with dimes in 2019? But even if you pay with quarters, they're used to it. They're cool with it. You bust out a bag of dimes and they're like, no, we don't have any licorice rope. Nor is it 1946. Get out of my 7-Eleven, please. A dime will remind you you're broke. Right? You look at it like, what president's on this one again? Oh, right, the one during the Great Depression. That's appropriate. That makes sense. That's who's on that. Franklin Delano Roosevelt is on the dime. A dime isn't even money. It's just like a reminder that polio used to exist. I love the people groaning like, hey, I liked polio. You shouldn't make fun of it. Well, that's the thing. $100 bill, you get Ben Franklin, right? You pay with $100, you get to think of the joy of scientific discovery and the Enlightenment. Pay with a Roosevelt dime, you think of a time in history where Mussolini was the not-so-bad one. And it's not just the front of dimes that's sad, either. Right? Even the back, because if you look at the back of other coins, you get to see cool stuff. You get to see the Lincoln Monument. You get to see a bald eagle. $50 has a bald eagle with arrows. I feel like they wanted to give him a gun, but they were like, Kennedy is on the other side of this. You know what's on the back of a dime? A torch and some leaves. Looks like the emoji for deforestation. Turns out I Googled the symbolism, and it turns out that the leaves represent your ability to eat and provide for yourself. And the torch represents that going up in flames because all you have is dimes. That's how that works. I'm excited. I just finished college. That's cool. Thank you. Thank you. A few applause there. Everyone else is like, you shouldn't have taken out the student debt. You shouldn't have done it. And I agree with you. I work collecting student debt, which is the opposite of being a comedian. As a comedian, I'm like, yeah, laugh, forget about your problems. My day job, I'm like, hey, remember your problems? I also try to be like a good Christian person in my life, and then my day job is collecting usury from the poor. It's not... I don't have any leeway to sin anymore, you guys. Like, I gotta toe the line. My degree is in Spanish. That's what I got my degree in. That's not the only classes they made me take, though. They made me take these ethics classes when I was in school. Couldn't take them seriously, you guys. Couldn't get into them, because ethics classes are always full of these hypothetical scenarios, right, that are meant to test your ethics, but they're never based on anything that could happen in real life. Like the first day of class, my professor was like, John, imagine that you are driving down the road with your brother and you have the only vial with the cure for cancer in it. You get in a car crash, and if you pull your brother out of the wreckage, you'll break the vial and lose the cure for cancer. But if you do nothing, you'll save the vial, but your brother will die. What do you do? And I said, I would fire the guy who cured cancer and only made one vial full. Who's Who's this guy who's smart enough to cure cancer, but dumb enough to be like, yep, that's enough. I can't see the world needing any more than this. I'd also fire the guy who entrusted the only vial with the cure for cancer to an undergraduate Spanish student and his aspiring rock guitarist brother. Want to know how that decision was made? We need to deliver this cure to Dr. Mendez. Unfortunately, he only speaks Spanish and the blues. All of a sudden, I'm saving the world with my 3.2 GPA. I don't think this is gonna work, you guys. I don't know. I feel like I would have gotten into it if there were realistic ethical dilemmas, right? Like something that could actually happen to you. Like, for example, imagine that you're in the park with your significant other, right? You're having a picnic, and you have a bucket of fried chicken. You say, we can't finish this, we'll just give it to the next person who walks by. And the next person who walks by is a black guy. If you give it to him, it's gonna look super racist, you guys. But here's the thing, if you don't, it won't look racist, but you just denied someone food just because they're black. So, that's a real ethical dilemma. I didn't give him the chicken, and I don't know if that's the right decision, but I didn't do it. It's a real problem that I have. It matters so much to me to not be perceived as racist, which is, I don't know why I worry about it, because I'm not a racist person. I'm not a bigot. I never could be. I'm not confident enough to be a bigot. I'm not. Like, I could never be a Nazi. Like, I could never believe any group I belong to is the master race. You know? Something about running a 14-minute mile and taking 6 years to finish a Spanish degree doesn't really scream Ubermensch to me, you know what I'm saying? Am I supposed to brag about my superior genetics while using my corrective lenses to see? I don't think that works. I don't know. It reminded me, like, I had a friend the other day. He said, I could never hang out with a gay guy because I'd be afraid that he'd start hitting on me. I was like, wow, that is really offensive. But good on you for the body positivity. I have never thought any of my gay friends wanted a piece. You know? Always felt they'd treat me the same way straight women have treated me, you know what I mean? I've had some bad luck dating in my life, but I shouldn't complain, because recently it's going better. I actually got engaged, you guys. Recently engaged. Thank you. I finally found someone who thinks this is attractive. Finally found a girl who's into a guy who looks like if Russell from Up got a liberal arts degree. So that's good. I wrote my thesis on how problematic Up is. She's actually in the crowd right now, my fiance. Give it up for Sarah, my fiance, who's here. She's wonderful. I love her so much. I love you, Sarah. I am nervous about being married, though, a little bit, because I'm new at relationships. There's still so much I have to learn. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if you know, but like, what's like a sweet romantic thing to say to your significant other while you're making out to the Ted Bundy tapes? Do you know? I haven't figured that one out yet, you know? All I could come up with is, I promise I won't murder you. Which, whispering it was my first mistake. I shouldn't have whispered it. That was not a good decision. The only thing worse than whispering, I'm not gonna murder you, is yelling, I'm not gonna murder you. Right, like the optimal volume for the phrase "I'm not gonna murder you" is like silent, actually. Don't say it. Just don't say it. I actually didn't vote, which I know what you're all feeling right now. You're saying, if you don't vote, you don't have the right to complain, which is not how complaining works. At all. But here's the thing, no matter who you vote for, somebody's gonna get mad at you. Even I thought I might vote third party last time around. People give you a hard time about that. They're like, John, you shouldn't support someone who has no chance of winning. And I live in Utah, so I deal with a lot of jazz fans who tell me this. I love that got more booze than polio. That's great. I love you guys. But that's just a terrible attitude to have about anything, right? Don't support someone who can't win. Imagine a sports movie with that, like the movie Rudy, where he's like, I want to play for Notre Dame. You'll never play for Notre Dame, Rudy. Okay. Or imagine if those people wrote inspirational calendars. It's like, if it seems impossible, it is. Give up. I don't think Martin Luther King said that. But I'm not that political, like I said. And one of the reasons for that is I came from a very politically diverse family. Right? My mother's a Republican, my dad's a Democrat. I have siblings who are libertarian anarchists and socialists. Basically, my family's policy on political beliefs is the same as the Pirates of the Caribbean's policy on accents. Right? She's like, yeah, do whatever you want, as long as it's crazy, do whatever you want. Like if you go to Thanksgiving at my house, you'll hear people saying stuff like, the last thing they will learn in this life is that taxation is theft. Followed by, you best start believing in welfare states. You're in one. As you can tell by that movie, I'm a big movie guy. Any movie fans in the audience? Yeah. Any horror movie fans in the audience? Good. I used to be very scared of horror movies as a little kid. Very scared. Not so much anymore. I don't think I would die in a horror movie. You know what movie I think I would die in? A Wrinkle in Time. That movie. Because in that movie, the only way to defeat the bad guy is to, like, learn to love yourself in spite of your flaws, and I can't do that. I would die. I'm dead meat. Right? Or like the never-ending story where they go through that swamp where if you're too sad, you drown. I'd be a goner. I would. Because here's the thing. The bar for how sad you have to be to drown isn't even that high. The horse drowns, all right? Like, I feel like I'm sadder than most horses. You know? I've just never met a horse and been like, yeah, that guy's got problems. Get that man a sugar cube. He's had a rough day. I don't know. I think I'd love to be a movie executive. I feel like I have a good ideas for movies. Like, I want to make a sci-fi movie where they treat planets as if they're the size of planets instead of small towns. You ever seen a sci-fi movie? There's always the part where the henchman's talking to the villain and he's like, sir, we found the rebel base on the planet Quasax. And the villain's like, excellent. But in my movie, he'd be like, that's not helpful. Planets are big. The thing is, you only see that in sci-fi movies. You never see like a Liam Neeson Taken movie where he's like, where's my daughter? Earth! Thank you, that's all I needed to know. It's ridiculous. I'm also a big sports fan. Any sports fans in the audience? Yeah, I'm a baseball fan. And I personally believe baseball is far too hard on its players. They won't let Barry Bonds in the Hall of Fame, one of the greatest hitters of all time, just because he took steroids. Look, football let Ray Lewis in their Hall of Fame, and he killed 2 people, okay? just made a joke about NFL Hall of Famers killing people, and OJ wasn't even the first person I mentioned. All right? Like if you go to the NFL Hall of Fame and ask, hey, where's the murderer? They have to say, offense or defense? That's why if I ever meet a kicker in a bar, I'm staying away. I don't want to be part of the special teams representation. I'm not. Whenever I tell this joke, I always get pushback. And one of the things people say is, well, you know, it's not really fair because they're taking drugs to enhance their performance, which, as if the things athletes put in their body aren't supposed to enhance their performance. Like, I don't know if I'm the first one to tell you this, but no one's drinking whey protein for the taste. All right? There's no athlete out there who's like, whey. All I need are some curds and a tuffet to sit on, and I'll be set. It's not happening. I don't know. Maybe if you're chemically enhanced, you shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame. Maybe. Although I think I speak for all of us when I say I am glad the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame does not have that same rule. That would turn into the Donny Osmond Museum real quick. Only so many sequin jumpsuits you can put on display before it gets repetitive. I mentioned I did grow up religious. I grew up Mormon, but not in Utah here. I grew up in New York. And when you grow up in that religion, in that state, you get very self-conscious about how sheltered you are. I had a friend come up to me once in high school and he said, John, whatever you do, don't be with a woman while you're high on ecstasy. I was like, you have severely misread my lifestyle. I don't know if you have any warnings about like chocolate chip cookies and eye contact. That's a little more my speed. But I was sheltered, man. This is how I know I was sheltered. My friends will reminisce about the first woman they were ever attracted to. They'll say stuff like, oh, Julia Roberts or Pamela Anderson. First woman I was attracted to, Aunt Becky from Full House. I don't know why. They're just like, oh yeah, I could start a stable nuclear family with you. I could court you so respectfully. Your parents would give us such permission to date. Is it weird that I'm still attracted to Aunt Becky? Because, like, I want my kids to go to college and stuff. Thank you. I have strong opinions about these things. I also have strong opinions about animals. Like, I do not feel guilty killing flies. All right? I don't. All right? They have a 1-week lifespan, which means that's a large percentage of their life that they are devoting to annoying a creature that could easily kill them. That's like if I spent a whole year of my life just bugging a dragon. Just like, hey, dragon. I'm on your arm, now I'm on your leg. That's a nice sandwich. What if I sat on it? You deserve to die. Deserve to die. I'm also afraid of dogs. See how quiet the room just got? I know. Hear me out. The reason I'm afraid of dogs, I've never seen a dog's leg fall asleep. Don't worry, I'll explain it. Here's the thing. Imagine the scariest, craziest person that you can imagine. I can immobilize that person with a cell phone, a toilet in 10 minutes. They're gone. They're out of commission. A dog can sleep on all 4 of its legs and then just hop up ready to kill you again. It's terrifying. And if you're still not convinced, I have one question for you. Where is Sarah McLachlan then, if dogs aren't so scary? What happened to her? I'm pretty sure she's in the arms of the angels is what happened to her. I also have a lot of weird interactions with dog owners. One time I heard a dog owner say, I just want a boyfriend who's just like my dog. And I was like, well, that's why you're alone. Looking for a hairy nudist with a chocolate allergy. It's a very specific niche. I don't think there's an app for that yet. I don't know, maybe I'm a people person. Maybe that's what I can leave you with tonight. I love people. Not animals, people. I love them. And it bothers me when people say that animals are better than people. A lot of times I hear people say things like, John, humans are the only animals that are violent toward their own. Which, here's a bear fact. When a baby bear is born, the mother has to kick the dad out of the den so he doesn't eat the cub. That happen in any of your houses? Yeah, I didn't think so. Think about it. We have entire rap songs by artists like Eminem and Tupac about how hard and terrible their lives were just because their dad wasn't around. But they got nothing on bears. If comedy doesn't work out, my career is going to be to bear rap. And that's what I'd like to end with tonight. Imagine if you will, turning on the radio and you hear something like, Dad, what don't you want me for? Try eating berries instead of your son. You're an omnivore. Congrats, bear. What a beautiful baby. Then my dad took me home. He tried to fillet me, saute me. He was vicious. He tried to turn me into dishes. Mom had to take him away against my wishes because I was in danger every time he gave me kisses because I knew he was thinking, my son, you're looking delicious. It would be amazing. It'd be amazing. Be on the lookout for my album. I'm gonna go by the name Cardi Bear, and the album is dropping soon. Thank you guys so much. You've been a wonderful crowd. I had so much fun.